Hey, Will, what are you doing?
I'm grabbing a glass of wine, man.
Brother, you know we have a podcast to do.
I know, I'm trying to keep from spilling this wine. Hey friends, this is Will.
Hey everyone, this is Michael.
And welcome to We Know Texas Vino.
Cheers. Howdy, fellow Texas vino lovers, and welcome back. This is Michael.
This is Will.
Hey, welcome back to our program. We're really proud to share some more quality time with everyone here. Our listeners, we're so grateful for you. We have had a blast during our first 9 episodes and are pumped up to be here in Corinth, Texas for our next edition.
You know, I can't believe we are at 9 episodes.
9 episodes. Can you believe that?
9.
So this is number 10. This is like our celebration episode.
Yeah, I know. This is a milestone for us.
So we're hanging out at a secret location celebrating our 10th episode. And I titled it, Will, is that okay if I made a title for this one? Sometimes you fail, sometimes you learn.
You know, that is amazing because you know what? There's a couple of times where, you know, this audio that we've been dealing with, you know, I was kind of nervous about it. Right. I didn't know if it was going to kill us or break us.
Well, you know and you were working hard. I'm going to give you all the credit in the world. You were working super hard to figure it out. I am totally the opposite. I do not know what is happening when it comes to audio or technology. So I am grateful that you're there to, of course, make it all happen. So thanks, Will.
You know, it's funny. We're sitting here doing this in the secret bunker.
Right.
You know, where we did our first little
jingle.
episode.
Well, it's a different bunker.
Oh, it's a different bunker
nonetheless. That's right.
But, you know, we're sitting here with this new soundboard, new microphone stands, new microphones, all the good stuff. Yeah. And we had nothing but trouble trying to get it figured out.
And we have a special guest today. We're excited to showcase this young lady here. And this actually is my wife, Erica Woods. Hi, Erica.
Hey, baby.
Hey, I'm glad you're here today. I'm super pumped up that you are able to join us on our 10th episode. We're going to have a lot of fun with you today. So what kind of wine are we drinking today, Erica?
Well, we are having an amazing Merlot Reserve that's actually aged in some bourbon barrels. Ooh. So if you haven't had something like that lately, I would go out and try it. It's fabulous. It pairs well with red meat.
With red meat. And Erica knows that we really like the bourbon barrels and the rum barrels. They're really getting popular, especially here in Texas, as far as I'm concerned. So it's pretty cool.
Gives that little extra spice to it.
That's right. That's really good.
It does. You know, and you know, when I first started drinking wines, I didn't realize they did bourbon barrels and this stuff.
Right.
And then I saw it and I'm like, oh, well, hello. How are you?
And you like it?
Oh, I love it.
You love it. Well, in fact, we opened a bottle tonight. Earlier, it was actually a Meritage bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
And I asked you, I said, Will, is it okay? And what did you say?
I said, nope. I'll fill my glass up, sir.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And Erica, my wife, my awesome wife, filled it to the rim. So we're going to talk about that tonight. That's awesome. So Will, where can our listeners find us?
Well, they can find us on Facebook at We Know Texas Vino. And then you can find us on any major podcasting platform like the Apple iTunes and Spotify and Stitcher, or whatever you listen to your podcasting on.
Right. And today we had kind of a success, didn't we? Had downloads. We had what were the download count tonight?
Man, our downloads,
yes.
We hit 500 downloads. We hit a milestone.
Yeah. But you said your new soundboard, we can do like clapping and audience participation. So we'll have to figure that out. Oh, thank you, Erica. She's clapping for us.
But I didn't hear you clap over there.
Yeah, there we go. And we have a lot of great listeners. We also had some great feedback from a couple of our listeners. I thought it was so cool. Just super positive. I'm so grateful for all of you listeners. And thanks for plugging in and being part of what we're trying to accomplish here.
You know, this podcast, you know, we couldn't do it without the listeners, you know.
For sure.
I know that you and I both went into this not knowing what to do and how to do it, but we went into it and said, screw it, we're just going to do this.
That's right. We did, didn't we?
And yeah, we've had our ups and downs in this, but you know what? I think the ups are outweighing the downs.
Right.
You know, unfortunately, our first really big major offset or back was
Obstacle?
Okay,
yes. All right.
Obstacle,
very
yeah.
Good. Thesaurus.
We had to pull our Bingham episode.
So our third episode, we had to pull. We were just learning. In fact, our I guess our theme today is sometimes you fail, sometimes you learn. But you, Will, are awesome at adjusting and adapting and modifying and making it happen. And so thanks for all you're doing. I'm looking at this beautiful soundboard you have right now. Thanks for upgrading and thanks for adapting and modifying and adjusting and all those things I just mentioned, because that's such a huge part, because we're here to learn, right? We're here to get better. Yeah.
Yes.
So today's episode, we're going to talk about all the good things we've done and some of the poor things we've done. I think we can laugh about all of it as we continue to learn. So this is our 10th episode in a month and a half. I mean, we're really rocking this.
Actually, we are in 2 days. We will be 2 months.
Okay. I did not know that. Thank you for that stat.
January the 8th is when we launched.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry. Actually, you know, about this podcast, when it goes live, people won't know what date it is. So it's right now, March 6th.
Oh, today is March 6th. Okay, let's pretend. I love it.
So March 8th will be 2 months since we've been live.
Okay, very good. And I think we've made some great strides. You and I are going to talk about that pretty extensively here later on. But first, let's have some fun with our guests. What do you think, Will?
I think so.
Watch out, boys.
Yeah, there you go. Watch out, boys. So we brought this feisty young lady, this feisty chick onto our podcast because number one, she's been watching our progress and watching us as we get frustrated and we watch us with stress because we want to provide a great program and we have fun.
That's all we want.
Yeah. And so it's kind of fun to have the outside looker, right? The person who's looking at it from a different perspective, add some value tonight.
Yes. And it's funny to watch us grow and give us a hard time and make fun of us.
Right. There's a rule in our house, though. She can't make fun of my podcasting skills at home.
Well, for the record, you guys have done a fabulous job, and I'm very proud of what you have done. However, we have laughed along the way in jest with one another.
Yes.
But great job, guys. I'm super excited for you.
Yeah, well, thank you. Hey, and we've had our moments of like, yeah, that's going to suck.
Yep. I had a few of those.
But we grow. And, cool thing, Will, is you and I have ladies who are supportive. And so I want to thank Erica, first of all, always being supportive and being my friend, just always giving me, encouragement and uplifting. And really, I mean, even tonight we were doing some recording for some other issues with our podcast, but she, just always doing a great job and being there for us. So that's pretty cool. And of course, your girl as well.
Yeah, and she wished she was here tonight.
Yeah, that'd be fun if the four of us.
Yeah, she unfortunately she had a prior engagement, so it's no big deal. She'll be on eventually.
Yeah.
But
she's doing a beer podcast.
Yeah, she's doing a beer podcast.
Wow. Well, cool. Well, let's get after this here real quick because we want to interview Erica because I think we all, the listeners included, can learn something from Erica today. But it's going to be fun getting to know this young lady. And I, of course, have been married to this girl for almost 20 years, and she's just awesome. We have great friendship, and we travel the world, and that's going to be part of this conversation today. So, we're going to take turns. I guess we can ask some questions, and Erica can ask us questions. It'll be fun. But Erica, who are you? Where are you from? Tell us about it. Go ahead.
She's not allowed to ask us questions.
She can ask us questions.
We are the podcasters. We are the question askers.
True.
Nobody told me there would be rules to this.
There's the unwritten rules here. So you just have to follow along with it. We tell you what you can and can't do.
Well, Erica's middle name, her middle name is Feisty. And so Erica Feisty Woods. And so you have to watch out.
That's how I caught him. He likes feisty women.
I do like feisty.
I like spicy.
Spicy. Not feisty, but spicy. So Erica, who are you? Where are you from?
Yes.
Well, I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born and raised in Anchorage. I actually was born in Fairbanks and spent a little bit of time in Georgia, a little bit of time in Spokane, going to Gonzaga. All of you Gonzaga alumni out there, get ready for March Madness because it's going to be phenomenal. And love to run, love to hike, love the outdoors, have two phenomenal kids that are amazing, a fabulous mom who just supports me like nobody's business, and somebody who has fallen in love with drinking red wine.
Wow, which is one of the reasons I want her on here. She loves good wine.
Is it only red that you like?
I will drink white wines, and I do like white wines, but I love the bold taste of those red wines. And I don't even know the things that you guys know, but it just is like a blanket wrapping you up.
We know Texas Vino.
Yeah, we just know Texas Vino. We don't know anything about the wines.
Well, Erica, though, Erica and I, we have been collecting corks for the last 20 years.
Oh, my goodness.
And we have a few corks available if anybody wants a cork collection.
Wow.
A few 100,000 corks.
Seriously, where do you got those stored at?
Well, we have out in the garage. Not that's this location, the secret bunker location. Yes.
I was fixing to say, if you got in your store, in your garage, don't you have your cars in there too?
Some random garage. Well, yeah, and Erica, so you, I met you 20 plus years ago, which is awesome. You're an Army brat daughter, and just your mom's amazing. We love your mom so much. But your mom has a cool name, and I thought today would be pretty cool to talk about it. Actually, her maiden name is what?
Earl, and that's spelled IRLE.
Right.
So whenever telemarketers would call back in the day, they would say, "Is Mrs. Irely there?" Which
Irely.
we all knew was a telemarketer. So of course we would say, "No, she's not here," because it was Miss Earl.
So wait a minute, spell that for me again.
IRLE. So think about Ireland.
So ask her what it means and the significance behind it.
Yes. So tell me what it means.
And what is the significance behind it?
Well, it's an awesome Scottish name. My grandmother came from the Bruce clan. So if all of you who have watched Braveheart know the Bruces were not the best in that movie, but they ended up redeeming themselves. It's a great name, a great clan. It's awesome. Earl, I don't know specifically the actual meaning of that, but we have a crest and everything else, and my mom's going to kill me. So, Mom, I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry, Judy. Judy Smooth. Yeah. So, yes.
Does she listen to the podcast?
Oh, yeah. She listens to the podcast. Yeah. Judy's in Vancouver, Washington, and she listens to the podcast, which is cool.
Okay. Because when you said Vancouver.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Canada because we just got a new listener in Vancouver.
Very,
Toronto.
very nice. So we have a couple of Vancouvers. But yeah, Judy, so shout out to Judy. Shout out to your mom who's always been supportive. Yeah, she's over there and it's pretty cool because she is not only supportive, but she has this great name. And I thought it'd be relevant because, the Irish and the Scottish like to drink beers and whiskeys, but also probably wines, I would imagine, right?
Absolutely. And Mom is a very big fan of Texas wine, as we often send it to her. And she's coming here in April, and we'll be consuming plenty of it while she's in town.
And you and I have talked, we're going to be taking her to one or two of the locations we've already done podcasts at.
Absolutely.
We'll have to invite Will.
Yeah, I was going to say, where's my invite?
Yeah, you're with us. Don't worry, you're with us.
I don't know what she does, but she can certainly hold her wine very well.
Yes.
I have to keep up with her.
Cool.
Well, just like anything else, when you age like wine, you can do better with age.
Well, my mom will love you.
Profound words from Will Donahue. Awesome. Well, tell us about your journey with wine. I know I met you as a young woman, and we kind of hit it off with wine immediately.
Well, I didn't like wine for the longest time, and my friend Christy said, "You've got to try this wine." And so I said, "Okay," and it was Yellowtail Shiraz.
Say it louder.
Yellowtail Shiraz.
Yeah, we will make sure our listeners hear this.
We would get this awesome Yellowtail Shiraz and have a good time together. So she calls me up and she goes, "Hey, guess what? I'm pregnant." So I said, "I know what I'll bring. I'll bring Yellowtail Shiraz and we'll celebrate." Forgetting that she was pregnant.
Right.
It's a very bad gift to give somebody. So anyhow.
Did you get to drink it all instead, or did she save it for a special occasion?
Oh, no. We just laughed heartily about it and had, a good time without it. But when you don't know what you don't know, you think, gosh, this is amazing. And so then as you learn, you grow, your taste and your palate grows, you try different places. Being from Alaska, we would go often to Vancouver, to Portland, to the Northwest, Napa Valley, and we would try those wines. And it was like, wow, I can't believe I actually liked some of the other wines I liked before, but you just didn't have experience with them.
Right. And you've traveled now. You and I have traveled all throughout Napa Valley, Sonoma Valley, the Columbia River.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And the Willamette Valley, Yakima Valley. I mean, everywhere it's just really good wine. So we've had some good wines, haven't we?
Absolutely. And been to some fun places, met some amazing people. But more importantly, every time you went somewhere, they would teach you something and you would take a little nugget away.
And I think it's one of the things, Will, that we've learned about the wineries we've gone to so far that we've showcased on our podcast is that they're all about teaching and education and making sure people understand the value of their wines and what it goes behind. I mean, the passion and the hard work in those wines. But it's pretty cool seeing people get excited about that.
And it's amazing. I'm just going to talk about him, and y'all are going to make fun of me because he's not my boyfriend, but Grayson.
Grayson, buddy, you're getting a shout out probably on every podcast.
I feel like I know Grayson, and I've never met
Grayson's
him.
Grayson's a good man. He's a good guy.
Talking to that man right there, I think my knowledge of wine went up threefold just talking to that man.
Absolutely.
And I would love to have the opportunity to go back out to RK and just sit down with him and his dad. And his dad, even knowledgeable, even though he didn't want to be on the show, he ended up being on the show anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And he's very knowledgeable also. Yeah. I mean, I would love to sit down for another opportunity with him again.
Yeah, you know what you did though, Will? You just set us up. Now we have to mention every single human being we've met through this podcast experience.
That was actually the plan because
okay, well, there you go.
Yeah,
what we've learned and what
Yeah.
Sometimes you learn and sometimes you fail and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and talk about the people that we've met so far. And,
for sure.
And the staffs that we met. I mean, we probably won't remember some of their names.
I'll remember. We write them all down.
You did?
Oh, the staff, maybe not the staff, the owners and the winemakers and the management. Yes. Cool. Well, Erica, back to you real quick. So where have you gone that is so memorable drinking wine and experiencing wine that just really sticks in your mind?
Well, Napa Valley for sure.
Right.
But coming to Texas, I had no idea that Texas had great wines. In fact, what you think about Texas is more of, cowboy country and beer and dancing. And whiskey. I mean, that's very stereotypical, but there are some phenomenal wineries here. And so knowing that we like wine, we've been to all over North Texas as well as Fredericksburg. And there's lots of other places. You can't go to all the places you want to go to in a short amount of time.
Right.
So it's been fabulous getting to know the local wineries here and being able to support them and share their product with people. And then taking it back to the Northwest has been really fun because, again, stereotypical, people think, oh gosh, Texas doesn't have the best wines. Little do they know they are phenomenal.
Yeah, you and I, we were looking at our wine cabinet and in our closet. We have lots of wines. I think most of them are probably from Texas right now. We really are enjoying those.
Yeah, I know. My collection is only
got a
Texas.
Good collection, Will.
Yeah, I've got a good collection. In fact, my girlfriend came over and she looked at it and she looked at me and she goes, "Why?
Why? Armageddon. That's why. I need wine."
Yeah, I told her that's just in case we have another, shutdown where we can't go out or anything.
Right. Yeah. Now are you over 120 bottles? You said.
I was close to the other day when I counted almost 200.
Oh wow! Because you're getting a bunch of wine orders this month, aren't you?
Well, I got it last month.
Wow.
Yeah, from Lost Oak and Edge of the Lake and Landon and where else? Oh, Grape Creek.
Grape Creek on Fredericksburg. Yeah, that's awesome.
So fun story. Yep. It's important to have wine on hand in case you have an earthquake in Alaska.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's talk about that real quick.
Absolutely.
Eric and I, in 2018, November of 2018.
Correct.
We were heading, because Erica comes from speech and language and I come from education, and we were heading to our school that we worked at. And all of a sudden, I'm just so angry with Erica because her car is bouncing. We're driving her car that day. It's bouncing everywhere. And I said, "Erica, what are you doing? If your car is not working, will you please let me know? I'll fix your car."
To which I say to him, "Quit messing around. Don't be pressing the brakes. You're going to hurt my car. We need to get to work." So
I pull over about a quarter mile down the road, and I get out and I'm looking at the car, and I see a fellow with his dog walking around, and he's looking at me like I'm insane. I'm looking at him like, "Can you give me some help?" And I pull around the corner after I get back in the car, and I see airplanes circling the Anchorage International Airport. And that's when we realized we had just experienced, what was the earthquake magnitude?
It was 7.0.
7.0.
And if you haven't been in an earthquake, that's significantly huge. Alaska had 9.2, which was originally an 8.6 on the Richter scale back in 1964, the largest earthquake in North America. But at the time, it was 7.0.
That was big.
Our buildings are built for that. However, the roads, the grocery stores, the liquor stores, more importantly, were devastated.
Yes. Well, we checked in, and immediately they closed all the schools. They closed the whole city. So Eric and I looked at each other and said, "We need wine. If this place is going to be closed for a week, we must have wine." So we went to a liquor store and described that liquor store.
Okay. So first of all, we said we need wine and we need gas. The line for the gas station was almost a mile long. So we said, let's get wine first. We have plenty of gas.
Priorities.
We got enough gas.
Right? You couldn't walk into the liquor store. And the guy did not have
insurance,
earthquake insurance, more importantly, because there were bottles of broken glass everywhere on the floor. And he goes, "I tell you what, you tell me the kind of wines you like.
Yeah, he wouldn't let us in the store.
I'll get them for you, and I will wrap them up, charge you for them, but you can't come in here." And because we didn't know we were going to be out of commission for a whole week.
Right.
I mean, roads were like broken in half, dropped 6 feet. It was a big deal.
Over by the airport, yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And so we ended up getting some wine, and that saved us for a week. We had a good time. We played cribbage and had a
Did we ever thank that gentleman?
I don't know if we ever went back and thanked him, but he's still cleaning up actually to this day after that earthquake. So, yeah.
Maybe you should go ahead and give him a shout out right now just in case he's
I don't know his name. The gentleman on Huffman Road, right?
By Old Seward.
By Old Seward. That's right. Yeah,
that's right.
You said your what? Your old what?
By Old Seward. It's a name in Alaska.
Seward.
I thought
William
you said
Seward was the Secretary of Interior or Secretary of State.
Yes.
Back in the day.
I thought you said sewer.
No, not
Seward.
Seward,
like Seward's Follies.
Common air.
Yes.
But again, it's important to have wine in a time of distress.
So Eric and I, we had great times with wine, of course. Who doesn't? Oh my goodness. But we've traveled around the world. We've traveled around the country in particular drinking wine. Actually, we've been very intentional about that. Many times we've gone to the West Coast just to experience, 3, 4, 5, 6 wineries. Her mom's very active in that community as well. So it's really fun. But one of my favorite trips, Eric, and you can talk about this, was our trip to Napa Valley and, of course, to Sonoma. But wouldn't you agree that our trips to Fredericksburg have been equal to, if not even more enjoyable?
Well, there's this hospitality in the South that you don't necessarily get in the Northwest. Everybody's friendly. Everybody's great. Especially, I say hi to everyone. Michael gives me a hard time. I run and I say hi. I wave. I figure if you're going to cross somebody's path, you might as well smile and say hello.
That impacts somebody's life.
That's right. So there's something about Southern hospitality, and people love to make people smile and just be open with one another. So you get I remember we were with our great friends, John and Sephra.
Yeah.
I did that run and we ended up going to the Fiesta Winery, I believe.
Yeah, that was really fun. That's in Fredericksburg.
And the gal that was serving behind the bar, I believe her name was Brenda. We had such a good time. We ended up taking her picture. We were texting back and forth and just
she introduced us to her daughter and her granddaughter, and it was really
cool. We've never seen her again in our life.
No,
but who does that? She was photobombing our pictures. I mean, just a great, great time and introducing our great friends, John and Sephra, to different Fredericksburg, Texas wines.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
No, that's cool.
You know, that's probably the one thing about Texas that you can say about us that no other state has, because California, I'm just going to call it California out right now. California is very pretentious.
Pretentious.
And
unless you get them drunk enough on wine.
Well, California, they also have pride, but it's almost like a condescending pride. They know for years, if not 100 years, they've had the market completely reined in. And so they have that. But you go there, and it's not that we've had a bad time there. In fact, San Diego was wonderful, and all those valleys through there. Oregon, Washingtonian wines, fantastic wines for sure. But there's something about the Texas hospitality, I agree with Erica, that's really inviting. And
but
really
it's they need to start being scared of Texas wine because we're coming in.
Well, we've heard from some of our friends through this podcasting experience that things are happening and things are really good right now. So,
and I mean, we went in. I don't know how many wineries. So we've been to what 9 different wineries, 8 different wineries.
Eight wineries so far.
8 so far, and every one of them has won some sort of medal at the San Francisco Wine Festival.
And they're all amazing. I mean, we have no negative experiences. We'll talk about that here in a minute, but really, it's been a very successful run.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. So I have a question for both of you. Will, I'm going to get you involved in the questioning part here. So you both have to answer. You guys ready? And I'm going to start it off with a quote, and then you guys have to answer. And I want you to relate to this quote. So George Carlin said, "What wine goes with Captain Crunch?"
Every wine. Every
wine goes with Captain. So, Erica, you drink wine. You like red wines. What do you like to drink wines and eat at the same time? What is your appetite?
Well, you know how people. Okay, so wine lovers around the state are going to kill me, but I think wine is just good all the time with anything.
Okay.
So then you go to classes and you learn how to pair it with cheeses and with meats. And I'm like, that's great. I just like wine.
Oh.
I mean, absolutely like wine. And so the fact of the matter is, if I'm having a great steak, I'm going to have a glass of wine. If I'm having a good salad, I'm going to have a glass of wine. If I'm having seafood, I'm going to have a glass of wine. It's going to be great.
If you're having Captain Crunch?
Captain Crunch is not in my vocabulary. So sorry for those Captain Crunch lovers out there. But I just think it's, I mean, if you, yes, it's important to put your taste together and to expand your palate. And everybody who's taking those classes from the sommeliers and beyond, they're going to think that I'm just absolutely crazy. But you know what? Let's talk about real life people who drink wine.
You and I like wine. We always have, and we always will. It's a wonderful thing.
So you're telling me if I was to give you a piece of white cod, you're going to drink some red wine with that?
Well, Will, I will drink any kind of wine as long as it's a good quality wine with that white cod. So if you give me a glass of white wine, I would absolutely do that. But I just love the spiciness of the red wines, not the sweet wines so much. Right. I mean, there's a lot of people.
You know, it's very sinful if you drink a red wine with a white piece of fish.
Well, you have to do a good Viognier, perhaps?
Yes, a good Viognier, maybe a Sauvignon Blanc.
Ooh,
so, see, this is the difference between people who study and know wines and people who just enjoy drinking them.
You just spoke German to her. All right. So, Will, your turn, my friend. I'm going to put you on the spot because you're my brother. So, George Carlin, what wine goes good with Captain Crunch? You are actually quite the cook, as Erica is, actually. I should give her all the compliments in the world, but you like to cook. So, what kind of wines do you enjoy with certain foods?
Well, so recently I just made some coq au vin.
Yes, you showed me a picture of that.
Yes, and so coq au vin is usually made typically with a Burgundy or even a Syrah. And I had one bottle of Syrah of Lost Oak and Arcade at the house, and I wasn't about to cook with that one bottle.
Right.
So I decided to reach over and grab a Landon Tempranillo.
Okay.
And that's what I made it with. And, the spiciness in that Tempranillo actually brought out the flavor in that chicken really, really well.
Yes.
And even the next day after eating that, or actually letting it sit and let all the seasonings meld together and stuff, I'm just going to say that was pretty freaking amazing.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Maybe next time I can.
I don't think I got any of that.
Yeah, we missed the invite. It was probably an invite. We missed it, honey.
Yeah, I sent you a text message like 3 times.
You did send me a text message. Was that an invite?
Yeah, it was an invite.
Or was that a rub it in? Look what type of a move. Yes.
Well, maybe I'll make it next for you next time because I know you can't eat flour, so.
Yes, for those of you who don't know, I cannot eat gluten. But I tell you what, there are so many great things that pair with wine that don't have gluten in it. That the palate is
Erica,
amazing.
does wine have gluten?
No.
There you
That's
go,
right.
girl.
That's why you drink it.
So
who made you some gluten-free pumpkin spice bread not too long ago?
Well, there's this gentleman that I know that does a podcast.
Yes. We know pumpkin vino. No, I don't know.
No, pumpkin vino. What is this? I want some of this.
So let's have Erica.
No, hold on. What's you got to answer it too. You can't just put us. You can't put us on the spot.
Erica and I, we have fallen in love for many reasons in this world, but one of them we just really enjoy on the patio, drinking a glass of wine on a beach. In fact, we're traveling to Florida here pretty soon with our oldest son to enjoy some time together, some quality time. I'm sure there'll be wine involved over there. I don't know what kind of Florida wines we're getting there, but we'll find something good. But really, just anything. But if I were to have anything, I think a really good steak on the Traeger grill with some good pepper on it and some really good sauces and a really, 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 I'm a Tempranillo nutcase. A really good bottle of wine.
Are you making that when we're finished with this podcast?
We should do that tonight. We should barbecue.
Is that steak going to be medium well?
No, I do medium rare.
Okay.
And let it cook for 5 minutes off the grill.
Ken.
Yeah. And Erica also, same, yes?
Absolutely. There's nothing like tough meat you don't want to eat.
And then like our son, though, our oldest boy, he likes like rare. And so we just throw it on there for like 1 minute, and then throw it on the ground and he eats it. So yeah, it's good. Well, Erica, I think it's important that we brought you on this for many reasons, other than just thank you for all the support and that sort of thing. But really, I mean, this is a green light for you and an open opportunity. What can Will and I do to improve this podcast? And what are some of the things you've seen that we can do better? And what are some of the things that you think that we've done well?
Well, starting off with what you've done well, I didn't know where this was going to go. And speaking to some of Will's associates, we were just kind of like, okay, well, they're going to have a fun time with this. Every time you set up somewhere, again, Will's the technology guy. Michael's connecting with people. Will comes in and connects with people. The laughter, the amount of fun, I remember, I can't remember which winery we were at, but they said, we really want you to come back and do several episodes. We had so much fun and we weren't expecting that. The one with the motocross.
Oh, the motocross, 4R.
4R.
That was fun. We laughed really hard.
But everybody had a great time.
Yeah, that was great.
And it's just seeing how you put people at ease and then they can highlight what they are passionate about. It's having a podcast with people is great, but it makes it even better when you're really working with people who are excited about what they're doing, sharing what they're doing with others. And that passion is so energetic and enthusiasm. So that's absolutely phenomenal. I do think you guys have done a great job with, okay, we've got this microphone, we've got this soundboard. We need to up our game here and up our game there. And so you take a good look at yourself and say, what do we need to do differently? And let's move forward. And then you're not afraid to go back and say, okay, we need to re-record that, like with Bingham, to make it even better.
Yeah, we did mess that. Well, that was a technological issue.
But I think that's a great thing to realize where your guys' strengths and weaknesses are. So great job. Yeah, I've enjoyed listening to the podcast. A lot of people have enjoyed listening to the podcast. And I think for wineries out there who haven't had you on, they're missing out. This is free advertising for them. And they're going to be able to highlight their craft, their wine, and they're going to be able to say why this is better than somebody else's. So for those of you who are winemakers, these guys don't get paid for this. This is a passion of theirs. They're having a great time. You might as well have them on because you're missing out if you don't.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really good.
I'm wiping the tear from my eye right now.
What's that now?
I'm wiping the tear from my eye.
Oh, wiping a tear. This is the second episode in a row you've been emotional.
I don't want to give it away, but our episode, our ninth episode.
Our ninth, yeah.
Actually, I guess it doesn't matter now since we are actually recording this. And it's
That's right. So this is right. This is since then.
Oh, so let's talk about that. We can actually talk about that. So, that Mark Seller made me cry a little bit. Mark... It probably is the most amazing man I'd ever met out of this whole
More
podcast.
Amazing than me.
Okay, don't pressure a lot.
All right. Actually, Mark's a very sophisticated, kind, gentle, intelligent, creative, innovative gentleman.
Yes. So, but let's go ahead and finish up over here with.
Well, what you guys don't know is that when you were doing that podcast, I was talking to their loyal customers who'd been there, who had businesses nearby and who were singing their praises. And then I had the opportunity to meet his wife, who showed me each of the coins and who they represented, and talked to one of the fellows that was represented on that coin. And it's not just oh gosh, look at what we do. It's a passion of theirs. And they were very excited about it. So it was kind of fun to see from a vendor's point, not a vendor's point of view, but a customer's point of view, how incredible they think that particular winery is.
Yeah, it was really cool. And you said you heard us laughing when you were outside of the room. We were kind of in the everything room. And I think Erica heard us laughing out there.
Every episode I've ever listened to you, I can hear both of y'all and the entire group laugh at a high magnitude.
And that's probably one of the things that I wanted out of this podcast when I approached you, Michael, about this.
Right.
Is I wanted laughter, because, wine can be serious, wine can be fun. And if you can't laugh about life,
right, then
what's there to live for?
Well, we do laugh a lot. And I mean, you and I both have a lot of humor. Erica actually is very funny as well. And it's it's fun to, she's hysterical
so
sometimes.
Serious
yes,
sometimes.
Very serious. But that's awesome. Well, let's shift gears. And Erica, you're welcome to chime in anytime you want here with this. But Will, I want to ask you a question, because this episode is, sometimes you fail, sometimes you learn, right? And, what have we learned and what is working, Will, in your opinion?
So, what I've learned was, first off, when we started this out, I had already had some podcasting equipment, and I picked up a quick microphone because I wanted to do it where we only had as much equipment as possible.
Right.
I didn't want to be able to come into a location and have about 50 minutes worth of setup time, and then we record, and then 50 minutes of takedown time. And so we started out with a omnidirectional mic.
Okay.
And that's probably the worst thing in the world to do.
But thank God you are willing to listen to your friends. You have some friends in the media industry, and they immediately almost taught you that it was pretty important that you make that adjustment.
Yes. And so we went away from the omnidirectional mic and went to these condenser mics. And then when I purchased these condenser mics, I went ahead and purchased another soundboard. Well, the soundboard did not interface properly with the PC, and it caused a lot of distorted sound. And we had to pull an episode because of that.
Right.
And so this whole thing's been a learning process for me. It's been a frustrating process. It's been an emotional thing, and you probably don't understand about the emotional part of it because, I'm really passionate about doing this, and I'm passionate about wanting to get the owners and the winemakers and their story out, why they're in this, because they didn't get into this just because they enjoy drinking wine. They got into this because they're tired of being into an industry where they're getting, laid off. They're tired of doing whatever. So I wanted to make sure that they get notified, not notified, but they got the proper recognition. Yes. Recognition for what they're doing, whether they're winning gold medals or not. I don't care. They're Texas wine. And they need to be recognized no matter what they're doing. Awesome. So if you're out there making Texas wine and you're hearing this, feel free to give us a call.
Or how about if you know people who are doing that and you are a listener, reach out to them, help us out. I think it's really cool that as we create this network of people and listeners and friends and all the people who are enjoying this, even that comment from the gentleman on Facebook this week really was encouraging because, he's just like, this is a great podcast.
Yes.
I'm totally locked into this. So that was fun.
So actually, you know what? I'm going to pull his thing up here.
Let's give him some kudos for sure. That was really nice.
I'm going to read off what he said, and that way I can share it with everybody.
All right.
1 second.
Well, and while you guys are doing that, one of the things I've learned is that the people in Texas who make wine support each other.
Yeah, that's really
cool. And it's awesome. It's not like, I'm going to keep my secrets and make my winery or my vineyard the best. They really highlight each other, and they share ideas with one another, and they support one another, which is another really neat thing that's kind of classic Texan.
That is probably one of the biggest things I love about Texas and Texas wine.
Yeah, good point, Eric. I agree with that 100%. It's really fun to see. And that's the emotional part of what we're experiencing here is that collective agreement and that we want everyone to win across the board.
Yep.
And when you have that philosophy, whether it's in relationships or whether it's in sports or whether it's in whatever, you're going to win. And people are going to win across the board.
So Randall Chase,
Randall Chase.
Randall Chase. He's the gentleman.
Randall Chase?
Yes, the Randall Chase. He posted on here, says that was a great interview. Got a subscriber out of me on it.
Yahoo.
Thank you, Randall Chase, for listening to us
and
nice. For your loyalty on this. Come out to the Gainesville Wine Stroll on April 1st.
Yeah, and so we're excited what's coming up down the pike, I guess, right? And so lots coming up. So we have the Gainesville Wine Stroll, April 1. That's a Saturday.
Yeah. So, before we get way ahead of ourselves there, Michael, because I saw how you jumped way ahead of us there. I only said that because I just told him to come out there. I didn't go any further than that.
Okay. I thought you were a leader.
So, Michael, you tell me the same thing. I'm asking you the exact same question.
You mean like I gave you the notes? What are some things that we have to improve and what has been a success?
I didn't have my phone pulled up me so I can give you the notes.
I'm so type A. Oh my gosh. So thank you for asking that very delicate question.
Here, I'll tell you what. Let's do it official. Okay.
Yeah.
So Michael.
Yes.
What are some of the things we have to improve and what has been our blank been successful?
Oh, okay. What a great question, Will.
Now, I'm just going to say this because there's a big, huge blank there.
Well, I don't know what happened.
Do I need to referee you guys?
Yeah, no refereeing. So, first of all, I'm really proud of the fact that we've highlighted destinations. I think the wineries we've been at so far have been outstanding. Listen, people who are listening to this, whether we've been to your location or not, but the people who we have met have been extraordinary. I actually feel like we have new friends. Eric and I feel like we could actually become very good friends with dozens of people we've met so far. And just even the last podcast we did, we felt this real cool connection with everyone. It was just amazing. And really, that's been everywhere. I've left every single winery feeling like I have new friends in my life. The experience has been great. I mean, the experience has been uplifting for me. I come from a little bit of radio back in college, but just always connecting, always having fun. I'm very spontaneous and kind of energetic and high energy. But to be able to bring those tools together and apply it to really your brainchild, Will, because it was your idea. I'm going to give you all the credit in the world. I just happen to be the lucky guy to drag on and grab your coattails.
No, we're walking side by side on this. This is 50-50.
Oh, for sure. But it was your idea. And so anyway.
Toenails are kind of fun.
Yeah, coattails. and then just lastly, how can we improve? I just think, Will, a lot of credit to you for improving on technology. And, I support that, of course, and we want that to be good. And I know we're working towards sponsorships right now to help cover some of those costs, which is vitally important. But I think just as we grow and, when we had to pull that episode, to me, that was a tipping point for me. That was a really important moment for me because it reminded me that I don't just want to do a podcast. I want it to be excellent. I want it to be better. And so as we evolve, as we get better and understand our weaknesses and to learn to be better in those departments, but also to recognize our strengths and to say, listen, we can even be better in some of these areas. And then to apply that to the good people we're meeting, the wineries, and showcase. Listen, Texas is going to be huge. I predict in the next 10, 15, 20 years, Texas will be a leading state in the wine industry in this country, if not, abroad. But I think it's awesome. So for us just to continue to improve and get better, we're so grateful for the patient listeners that we have because a couple of those episodes have been a little rough, and I get it with the static and all the things, the technological lingo you use with these wires touching each other and all that kind of stuff. So I just think we're going to continue to grow, and that's one of my strengths. I think is I'm just never really satisfied being average. I've always wanted to be a little bit better in really every part of my life.
And can I say one more thing about that?
Sure.
You guys are giving somebody else an idea of what does it look like to start off with an idea and a passion and move forward, whether you're having the successes or not. So somebody else might be listening to this podcast and they might be really excited about doing some other kind of podcast. And you're giving them that experience of, hey,
we're giving them hope.
You are. Hope is and you're learning and you're getting better. And I think that's the best, most important lesson you can take away from anything, because really the goal is to highlight Texas winemakers.
That's our number one. That's our mission statement.
And originally when I wanted to do this podcast, I wanted just to do North Texas. But the more you and I sat and talked about it, the more we realized that let's not just focus on North Texas.
Let's do Northwest Texas. Adios, South Texas.
It's not we know Northwestern Texas. Right. We know,
but we know Texas. We know.
But but wineries are not just in North Texas. We're talking about in East Texas. We're talking about everywhere in West Texas.
900 wineries, my friend.
Yes, 900. So
that's several years of podcasts.
Do you? Yeah, I was going to say, do you realize that we're never going to get every winery?
Right.
So we may have to double up at some weeks.
900 current wineries.
That's a great point. So what's coming up and down through the pike? Will, we got a lot going on here. We got to kind of wrap this up. But what's happening with We Know Texas Vino?
Well, before we wrap it up, let's do this. I want to know. And this is an open question to you, Erica. what was your most memorable visit to a winery thus far?
You can't do that.
Yes, I want to do that. I want to know
They
this.
all were great. They were all great.
But there's one that just stuck out.
I think there's certain moments that stick out, but I think overall, I don't think I could pick one moment. I really have enjoyed all of them. I mean, they just are all great.
This goes back to when I asked Marissa, she's got to pick one of her favorite childs.
And did she choose?
She said she only picked the good one at the time.
Marissa with Bingham Winery. She's amazing. Shout out to Marissa and Jen over there. But no, they all have been great. I think they've all been unique, Will, and that's what's so cool about it.
It's
I mean, everything
when I
from
sneezed.
When you sneezed at Bingham, yeah. But even they've all been incredible. You know, the scenery and the destination and the hard work and the vision and the capacity to understand that maybe someday they'll be 100% estate wineries, which is amazing to me. That's so cool.
Okay, favorite winery that I've seen you guys talk to. I do not remember their names. It's Lonesome.
Lonesome Vine.
So Christy and Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew and Christy.
They were so excited about their process, what they were doing, where they came from, why they started. Their passion was overflowing. And whenever you look at starting a new business and why you're doing what you're doing, that's so incredibly important. And every time you asked a question, whether they were on the mic or not on the mic, the passion of here's why we're doing this. Here's where we started. Here's this particular agricultural experience that we would like to capture, but not. They were just so genuine about it. And it was really neat to see from a startup perspective versus somebody who's been like Grayson told you guys to go check it out.
Yeah.
Right? How cool is that?
Was it Grayson or?
I think it was Grayson, yeah. And so, I mean, that's a great example. But, each of them is, again, so unique that it would be difficult to point one out.
Well, I will have to say that Christy there at Lonesome Vine was very shy. She would not talk on the microphone whatsoever.
And then she opened up and we couldn't get her to stop talking. No, I'm joking. So, Christy, you're awesome.
What was the word that you had Andrew say 3 times that got you all excited?
I can't remember that. But I remember it. I remember it. But people will have to listen to our podcast to figure that out. It's a trivia. It's our 20th episode will be trivia from our first 19 podcasts, right? So what about you? I mean, do you have something that stands out?
So, every episode has their moments, everywhere from Chris over at Edge of the Lake, sit down being our very first one.
That was our first one.
That was our very first one.
Very nice guy.
And sitting down with Marissa and Jen, we those two ladies, I want to do another episode with them just to sit down, just to
My
talk.
number one goal is just to make them laugh.
Oh yeah, it was fun making them laugh.
It was fun.
And then going over to Grayson over at RK. And then going over to Lonesome Vine, and then going down to Lost Oak.
Yep.
And Roxanne, if you're listening to this, because I really hope you really are.
Yeah.
You need to give everybody your telephone number so they can call you.
Oh my God. Well, Roxanne will be an iconic figure in, I believe, not only the wine industry, but maybe showcasing and helping us out.
And the yoga world.
What's that?
And the yoga world.
And the yoga world. So, so that's awesome. So, Will, we've had some things going on here pretty soon. I know we just recently advertised at Twiga. I think that was last week.
Yes.
Tell us about that real quick.
So, yes, we have recently been added to Twiga. And
what is Twiga for those of you who don't know?
Twiga is Texas Wine Grape Growers Association.
Ooh,
yes.
Knocked it out of the park.
And so thanks to Amy and Jeff over at the Texas Wine Lover app.
Texas Wine Lover. We have to showcase that.
Introduced us out there.
That's right.
And so we're hoping that we will get more contacts from different wineries because of them.
And then, tell us about Gainesville, April 1st.
April 1st. This is going to be an amazing opportunity for us. This is like a first time. This is going to be a first time for us. This is going to kickstart us into the future of our podcast.
That's right.
We're going to be live, folks. Do you hear that?
Standing on our hands.
Yeah, standing on our hands. Michael and I are going to be like circus clowns.
Yes.
Have you guys seen a picture of them?
But the Gainesville Wine Stroll, April 1, up in Gainesville, Texas.
Yes, and so there's going to be a total of 12 wineries, even though they listed as 11. So there's going to be 12 wineries listed there. I'm actually going to pull that up list right this second.
Right. And that's exciting because some of those wineries we've already been to and we've done podcasts with them. So it'll be nice to see their friendly faces again. But also we're going to be there doing a live broadcast. Is that correct?
That is correct. So the wineries that are going to be there are going to be Edge of the Lake, Firelight, 4R Ranch Wineries,
4R,
OG Cellars, Cooley Bay, Wall Street Winery, RK Winery, D-Chain Cellars, Bellamia Winery, Hidden Hanger, Blue Ostrich, and Winery.
Nice.
Now, with all that being said and done, I got to send out a quick shout out to Brandy at the Power Project Collective because she's the one who invited us out there.
That's pretty cool. And I got on our Facebook page today and saw that post, which is cool. And I'm really grateful for that as well. I do not know her yet, but I hope to meet her when I'm up there.
Yep.
Cool. And then in addition to that, we have something at the end of April we're going to participate in, the Granberry Wine Festival. Is that correct?
That is correct. That is a 3-day festival. I don't have any quite details on that yet. But as soon as we get that will be put out there to everybody.
And I think we're going to be showcasing our podcast on Sunday of that festival, kind of towards the end of that festival.
Well, actually, I may be out there the whole 3 days.
All right. Well, you probably won't be drinking wine the whole 3 days, no doubt about it. But we're going to do a podcast probably on that Sunday. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes.
And then just finally, we're reaching out to all the wineries everywhere in Texas. We are in the greater Texas, the great state of Texas, but greater Texas. We want to come see you guys, so please reach out to us real quick.
Well, and honestly, from somebody's point of view who watches these guys do the podcast, there is so much fun and laughter, and the fact that
we hate laughter. We despise laughter.
But the fact that the owners are saying, gosh, I wish you could come back and do this again. If you haven't reached out to these guys, you're missing out.
Yeah, I think it's going to get better and better. And we definitely love to have fun with people and build relationships. And we are extraordinarily impressed with the people we're meeting. So keep it up, folks. You're amazing.
You know, Michael, when as we get bigger and bigger, we're going to need more microphones and more equipment. And you're going to need to help me carry stuff around. You know that, right?
Podcast, welcome all 48 of you, all on your own microphones. So, well, closing remarks. So, we always do takeaways real quick. Thank you, Erica, for being here.
Yes,
what a
Erica.
treat. I mean, I absolutely adore you. You know that. And she is the love of my life. But you better, she says. But closing remarks from our first 10 episodes, maybe just a quick remark.
You know, I'm going to say this. When we first started doing this, you know, let me back up a little bit. When I first started drinking wine and I realized there was no podcast because I listened to a lot of podcasts and there was no podcast about Texas wine. And I introduced this to you.
Yes.
And we decided like, hey, let's do this. And then all of a sudden things just kind of lined up and made it happen.
Yep.
And we went out to Edge of the Lake. You know, I was like, this is awesome. This is great. And then as we progressed and got better and better and better at this, I'm going to be honest with you, Michael. At first, I didn't think this was going to happen. And here we are, 10 episodes in.
Yeah.
We are 2 months into this.
Right.
And I'm just going to say it like this. We're kicking ass and taking names.
Oh, all right. Can we bleep that? I need an editor.
Well, he's right here. Well, but it's true. You guys are enthusiastic and passionate.
Absolutely.
About getting this out to people, and passion energizes everybody. So way to go. You guys are amazing.
Well, enthusiasm does win. So my takeaway is actually something I've been thinking about for the last week, actually. And that is, you know, all the podcasts we've done so far, some of them were a little rough and we were learning. And so for all those folks who hopefully are listening to this podcast and sharing it with your wine enthusiasts at your particular locations and destinations, I hope that you'll understand that we're going to come back and see you better and better than you ever thought it was, because it's going to be clearer. It's going to be more enthusiasm. We're going to be reaching a bigger crowd. It's going to be incredible.
So that is correct. And it's going to be amazing. And once we get everything nailed down, we're going to start doing some video podcasting.
That's right.
And actually, we're going to hopefully do some video pairing. Some wine
pairing.
Video pairing. So we're going to do 2 videos next to air. Blah, blah, blah.
That is called a blooper, ladies and gentlemen. It's all good. I know what you're saying.
You're going to help people like me who just drink red wine with everything.
Well, but I agree. And you have a vision. I am basically tagging onto that vision. I have been re-energized when it comes to as we cast the vision for what's going to happen in the next year or two with this podcast. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to actually, when you think about life experiences, this will be one of the great life experiences we've had.
Yeah, this is actually becoming bigger and bigger with each episode and each winery we talk to.
Sure.
It's become bigger. And, you know, eventually I'm hoping that we will be able to visit most, if not all, wineries here in Texas.
Yes. So review real quick for us, Will. Where can people reach out to us and where can they find us?
They can reach out to us to
We Know Texas Vino on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Yes, no?
Yeah, that's pretty darn good. That was pretty good on the spot. If our listeners will stopped and looked at Erica real quick and she's like, ooh, I'm on. So yeah, it was good.
I didn't realize, I wasn't expecting her to do that, honestly, because I just saw a hand gesture in the corner of my eye.
She's a pretty sharp girl. So
I just happened to turn and look to her.
Yeah. I was laughing about something else.
Right.
But that's what we do. We laugh. We have fun together.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and finish my line there? Where else can they find our podcast?
Oh, no.
Anywhere else on social media that is legit. I don't know.
So we'll wrap it up for
so you can actually find us on Apple iTunes, Stitcher, and Spotify, and anywhere else where you find any of your podcasting apps.
Anywhere else? I was so close.
You were. So Erica, thank you for joining us today. Erica Lynn Woods, we're so grateful for you, and just thanks for adding value to what we're trying to do here, right? Yep. So do I have a quote this week? I'm 10th episode. I have another quote. Is that okay if I do a quote?
Was not the George Carlin quote?
No, George Carlin was just a question for you to ponder, you and Will. I wanted you to ponder that.
That was an interesting quote.
I like this one though. The discovery of wine is of a greater moment than the discovery of a constellation. The universe is too full of stars. Benjamin Franklin, 1702. So not 1702. So it's pretty cool that people have great appreciation for wine even back then, right?
So there's a picture of you with a wine signery that says something to the effect of, how come all of the good things in life either make you drunk, fat, or pregnant?
Yes, that's a good one too. Oh, look at Erica with her own quote.
I didn't even look that up.
I love it. Well, folks, another day, another glass of wine. Salute from our secret location here in Corinth, Texas.
Cheers, Texas.
Adios.